Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 2 of Vibes and Drives with CHRIZ. Today, instead of talking about greatness, it's going to be talking about seasons. Yes, what the heck do I mean? Am I talking about salt and pepper on some steak and chicken? No. I'm talking about seasons of life. So, seasons. We all know them, right? We probably started off thinking like, hey, we got the spring, we got the summer, we got the fall, we got the winter. But one thing that God has taught me in my journey of faith in Jesus Christ is, and spiritual and just like, time and wisdom as I've been able to acquire it, and the responsibility that comes with that, is that there are things that happen in different measurements of seasons of time. So let me explain that, and hopefully at the end of this video you come away with more wisdom, godly wisdom, and more clarity, understanding about maybe what season you're in your life. So to start off, seasons can sometimes be as short as a day. Yeah, I'm telling you, sometimes seasons are as short as a day, or they can feel like as short as long as a day, right? Short or as long as a day. Keywords in short or long. Going into a little bit more to the atomic granular level, and then we'll branch out. I remember when I was in college a couple years ago, and I had a meditation on the fact that I noticed that when I was just passing the time, it was miserable. Keep waiting for class to be over versus or waiting for this thing to happen or that thing to happen. And it was like, then I found myself like, well, why in the world does time go by faster when I'm more engaged with something? Even if it's not fun, if I'm engaged with it, if I'm like aligned with it and zoned in, like it doesn't really matter to me. In fact, I'm almost like running short on time in those situations versus like I've got nothing to do, I'm waiting, time is passing by, and especially as you grow as an adult, the more and more you don't really have the leverage to let other people make decisions for you. You have to make decisions for yourself and for the life that you want and are going to live. And there really isn't a choice to consistently improve, Kaizen, because life is passing, and life by default is always trying to go towards decay and entropy. Without diligence and a organization and intelligence and intentionality, things will naturally go to bad. And so that kind of brings you to God. Like, without God and God's presence, without establishment of order, there would be wilderness and chaos. There would be no good. There would be no food. You wouldn't get blessings. You wouldn't get water when you're thirsty. You wouldn't get, it wouldn't taste good. Food would just be food. You wouldn't have the things that God made us in his likeness and image of, in every facet and form. Feelings, desires, in certain ways. Some desires are not of God, for sure. But either way, what I'm trying to say is that to the atomic level, you can find that when you're zoned in, time goes by faster, or it can be longer. And the Bible says that there is a time, or that to God 1,000 years is like one day. And so, going in on that, time, seasons come and go, and it can be as short or as long as a day. Sometimes a couple weeks, a week, a couple days, maybe 3 days, someone doesn't have a job, maybe 3 days, someone's going through an injury, and then 3 days later it's better. But it feels like a long season, and you don't know what's going to happen after 3 days because you're living in the moment of the pain, the struggle, the anxiety, the worry, the fear, the doubts, the concerns. But you keep going, which is faith that it will heal, that it will grow, that it will get better, that there is some force, if you will, out here to help you and to see you win and grow, take care of you. That doesn't always mean what we want, doesn't mean always what we like, doesn't mean always it will always make sense, but there is a God that is looking out for you. And for me, his name is Yahweh. I had other gods before this. I'll share my testimony in another video, but I figured this was a good video where I could just talk about seasons so you can be sensitive to the time you're in. And that's the key there, discerning where you are in life in a particular season of time. Like, where are you at with your job? Where are you at with your skills? Where are you at with your confidence? Where are you at with depression? You can't expect it to just go away right away. It's going to take time. Where are you at with your business? You might be in a season first where you have to build it, and then eventually you can leverage it, then you can scale it, and then you can delegate, and then you can exit. Like, those are all different seasons. And yeah, like, maybe we're trying to get to the end of those things, right? Like the end of the job, the end of the day, the end of you having to get bigger. Trust me, I know what it feels like to have to go through the beginning stages of things versus the end of those things to then have a much more easier video game reality experience. Like, when you're playing a video game at first, you got to get the stuff first, then you can get the cooler weapons and kind of get to a point where, like, this is where I'd like to be and build from here. But this is like when you kind of feel like you started being connected to your character. And so that same thing goes with you, and maybe you're in a muscle mass building phase. Maybe you're in a income building phase. Maybe you're in a business building phase. There's a season for everything under the sun. Ecclesiastes. Read that. But also, being sensitive to it, using discernment, understanding that there's just different times for it. But the bigger picture is that you're going to live through each one of those phases. And time is going to pass you by, and time is the accumulation of what you did with under the sun in time, what actions you took, and which will affect the life that you get. So you might as well do what you can to align with who you are, what you want, what you need to do to achieve that, and start from inside and work your way outside, because it's very difficult to change external things versus inside. Like when you say, I want to put in a job application, or I want to go talk to that girl, or I want to go train. It's because you think about the outcome, the problem, the pain, the desire, the good that you want, and then you turn the energy enough to go take the action to achieve it. So it's very beneficial, because then you take the action, then you get the results that you want. Okay. You have to despise the cross, despise the pain of the struggle to get to the glory and the crown after you conquered the death, the hardship, the battle, the demon, the monster of that journey, of that quest, of that mission, of that season of your life. But everything does pass in due time. Everything is temporary and fleeting. So good things will come, good things will go, bad things will come, and bad things will go. In the end, if you're looking at life as a sacrificial ending, where you may die for what you believe and who you are and what you're here for, you're that committed to what you're living for that you're willing to take a sword for it if you have to. That's how serious you have to really consider, like, how much do I really believe this? How much do I really believe what I think I believe about anything? And it's not easy to do that, obviously, to be really willing to take, like, to boil in a pot of lava, or boil in fire for the faith and beliefs that you have. It's definitely easier said than done, but that is a measurement to each person and to each their own. So going back to it, right? So some seasons last a couple weeks, a couple days, a couple months, maybe even a couple years. Eventually it will subside. Eventually it will pass. Something else will take its place. Everything has a purpose and a time under the sun for an ultimate purpose and the ultimate biggest picture, and we can't even see it. And we're trying to live to the end result, the end goal, which is good. So we can get there and then do that, which is good. Sometimes people just want something just to want it, or you got to enjoy the process. Look, you're a human being, so you're not going to just perfectly like respond to struggles and trials as you would like to, or as social media and people on YouTube would tell you to. You're a human being. You're going to struggle with the struggles of what it is to be a human being, which is not getting up exactly on time, going to work on time, showing up to the meeting right away, maybe not 1,000% on point and ready for this, this phone call, or maybe you're not energized, but you still got to do something. Maybe You know, you take a little bit of a step off on that route and, you know, you still catch it, right? Like, I'm just saying that there's times where you're going to just face what it is to be. You're going to you train so hard, and then, well, you had a little bit of a bite of a burger, you had a cupcake, or you had a little bit of a misstep on that route, or maybe the handle that you had was great, you trained it, and then somebody ripped you once, but then you crossed them up like every single moment of the rest of the game. So I'm just saying that it is going to be, you're a human being. Like, get the idea of perfection and absolute dominance of perfection out of your mind. Now, I'm not saying it's completely impossible, but even think about it. The best winning streak in the NBA, it wasn't every single game of the entire year. There was a couple games that were lost. And there's so many variables to measure. So don't get caught up in the sauce with it. Know that your time will come and your season will end. And there are better seasons to come as well. And you have faith and not by sight. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. So you don't see the things as they come. Like, you have to have faith, which is the substance of things hoped for, not yet seen. And hope, why would you hope for something if you already see it? So, and hope builds character and integrity and all these things. So anyway, just going back on that, seasons can last for a while, and depending on like where you are in that season, respond to that season as accordingly to best suit that season and the seasons to come. And it's ultimately just going to help you have a better vision, because if you're trying to get somewhere to like a level 100, and you're like 80, you're at 81, or you're at level 5 and you're trying to beat a monster at level 32, like, you're going to have to build your way up. It's going to take some time. Now, there isn't enough time under the sun to do everything. And time is ticking. So there needs to be an intentional urgency. But at the same time, there is also seasons of faith and patience and waiting. Now, that doesn't mean sitting around doing nothing. It means working what you can, doing what you can, to the capacity that you can. And in due time, those fruits will bear. Now, it's easier said than done, because we get, again, with the human issues, the frustration. It'd be so easy if you just didn't get irritated and things just went according to plan, but they seldom do. And so everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, punched in the face, right, by life. So, hope that was somewhat helpful. Hope you could take some wisdom away. Read Ecclesiastes for sure. Proverbs as well. There were some other things that I feel like I forgot I was trying to say, just because the tangents get so long. I've had a long day of talking and working, so. But yeah, so seasons come and go. Live and learn. Tables turn and bridges do burn. People come and go, but they also change. You never know. Things change when you change. Things change sometimes also just automatically. They just change, and it happens faster than you think. But just know that life is sensitive to seasons. Seasons to be married, seasons to be single, seasons to have money, seasons to struggle, seasons to be joyful, and seasons to be sorrowful and sad, seasons to be in war, and seasons to be in peace. Hope that was helpful. God bless you. Have a genuinely great day or night whenever you're listening to this. Decompress and breathe. Seek the truth for yourself, and ask yourself, of all the spirits and the gods and truths about what happens when you die, what really would happen, and what are you willing to die for regarding that belief? Who is Jesus Christ? Outside of what you may think of Christianity, as it may seem, outside of, church and religions and traditions and people and what they say, who is Jesus Christ to you? Who is Jesus Christ to you? Just completely you, by yourself. What is your relationship like with him? What do you have What do you know about him? Do you know him? Look, you talk to a friend, right? You're like, hey man, I know this person, bro. He's so cool. He's so great. I can't wait for you to meet him. And he has a certain conduct. He has a certain behavior. He has a certain mindset. He has a certain energy, aura, attitude, a certain way of living, a certain way of being. And to some degree, because it's all part of life, a certain way of dying. And so, what scares you? What holds you back from getting to know Jesus Christ on a personal level, through prayer, through time alone, time in your own mind, in your own heart, your own soul, time in the Word, the Bible? And it is good to be around those who are seeking Jesus and are followers of Him. Not everyone is, and no one's perfect. So even those in those areas, or even in the faith, even on a football team, even on a basketball team, even in a gym, even in wherever you are, a job, like everyone isn't supporting each other. Everyone has some part of them that's aiming towards the worst, and everyone has some part that unfortunately isn't in it for like the greater good, or willing to go all in and stretch themselves, and they don't wear the same heart and badge and the jersey and the cape and the crown and wear their armor and their insignia for the same cause or motives or beliefs or convictions. Sometimes they're just there for whatever, So it's to each their own. You gotta seek the Lord yourself. Anyway, have a great day, y'all. I'm headed to the dojo to rest. Yo, what's up, y'all? I forgot to talk about this, so just ignore the insert here. But Ecclesiastes chapter 3, to everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow or sue, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time for love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he labors? I have seen the travails which God has given to the sons of men to be exercised therein. He has made everything beautiful in his time. Also he has set the world in their hearts so that no man can find out the work that God has made from the beginning to the end. I know there is no good in man but to rejoice and to do good in his life, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all of his labor, for it is the gift of God. That which has been is now, and that which shall be has already been, and God has made it in the past. One final quote. A man does not much remember the days of his life, but God answers him, and you remember it with the joy in your heart. Yeah, so there was still a quote that I forgot about regarding like seasons and time and how things come and go. But to everything there is a season, and all things come to all things, and time passes by, and a new season shall come forth. So take that and embrace that. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. Better is the end of something than the beginning of it. That's what the Bible says. I remember the first time I read that, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then it rang true to me. More so when it comes to like taking on a new task or having to do something that mostly you have to do but don't want to do. But even with things that you want to do, everything really is leading up to an end goal of being able to just finally rest and to be able to live in what you created. But at the end of it all too, when you die, again, assuming you understand, not believe, but understand which comes with belief. But for those who don't believe, for example, in Jesus Christ or Yahweh, there is a point where, like, those who just don't understand the truth, for example, like even in spiritual things, they don't understand the truth about, what the heck is this? Irritating me. They don't understand the truth about, if you don't understand the truth about Jesus or the Bible or the truth or what happens when you die, when you just accept a belief that, it's like nothing happens, or you go whatever you believe happens, which would make sense to certain perspectives of spiritual teachings. But I meditated on that, and I will say that left me very depressed, because I'm like, well, what's the point then? And if the truth is that you just go back to the earth and you just become grass, and like, I thought that's what happens. You go back to the grass, and then the animals eat you, and you become the animal, and then the animal becomes the person, and you become the person, like reincarnation and stuff like that. It's repeating reality until you get enough karmic debt paid off or whatever. I found, after believing those things, living those things out, and nearly dying, that those things were not true. The reason why is because I knew something in my soul. These are the answers. Listen to this. You don't always get the answers from people. You get the answers from deep in your soul. So you're not really gonna know, like, oh, well, this person told me this and this person told me that, and they think this. Well, you don't answer to what they think. You answer to what you chose to do and when you chose to believe. And also, beliefs do change over time. So something that's good now, or that you believe now, may change. That's why when you think about what happens when you die is the most important thing, because that affects what you do today. And you're not going to be perfect, but what you do today will affect the future. So going back into this, if you understand the truth about what happens when you die, you'll understand that at the end of this life that has a whole bunch of pain, a whole bunch of misery, judgment is upon the earth for why somebody is in time and place. Therefore, the misery of man is great upon them. Read Ecclesiastes. I promise you, you're going to get so much wisdom and knowledge about what reality is and how it works and how things play out over the course of time. But assuming you understand the severity of having a belief that you're willing to die for when it comes to the truth about what happens when you die, and you can say, oh, we know, and now nobody knows because no one's been there. I mean, seek the truth for yourself. I'm not gonna just let I was willing to die and let my mind just be like whatever it was, and what was gonna happen is gonna happen, and I'll let things go with the flow. I let like the universe guide me, and I'm telling you, I'm warning you now. You only understand life living forward. You live life going forward, but you understand it looking back. And the more you know that you don't know anything at all. So with that being said, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. That was a scripture, that was a quote, that was a piece of wisdom that I had nearly forgot, and I was trying to figure out like what it was that I said, and it hit me again today, just at the end of the day of work, and it also escaped me yesterday and the day before that. So yeah, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And no one owns success principles. No one even owns success besides God. Success is like a language that you get from doing the things that you need to do to get there. So if I want to learn Japanese, I need to do the things that's going to teach me the Japanese words and like the language. Same with success, and that's done through action. It comes from everything, actually. So who you hang around, they speak a certain way. They'll speak about certain things. They'll carry themselves a certain way. People who are highly successful, they're typically going to be more articulate. And how would you measure success, is a question. I think there is some wisdom in listening to some things that Ty Lopez has to say about you can get good at the wrong thing. You can be money rich but time poor. You could be healthy but have none. Or you could have money and time but you ain't got no health. Right? So you want to have those three things: health, wealth, relationships, and he says happiness, but happiness is a temporary thing. Fulfillment and joy. This happiness comes and goes. That's like a chemical state that comes and goes. And you're not always going to be happy. And that doesn't mean if you're not always happy that life is wrong or bad. A soldier's mindset allows you to endure difficulty and challenges and stress and fear and anxiety and not knowing what to do or how to do it, but still moving forward. That's why you have to have a tough, strong mindset, and that comes with success, and it comes with an identity that I equate in my philosophy that I'm going to be teaching in the videos to come is, and I wouldn't say this stuff if it wasn't something I lived, something that God taught me and had me live out in the hardest of times of my life. And I'm not escaped from it, not fully yet. And I don't know if I ever will or even really want to fully, I fully want to be free, but what I'm saying is to fully be able to say, like, no more challenges. No, you want challenges of some kind. You want things that, test you a little bit, that you can contend with. That's what makes it fun. But you want to get to a point where you can live the game versus trying to work the game and survive in the game or lose in the game, even after doing everything it takes to win. So anyway, those are the principles that God taught me. And to be a soldier, to be a warrior king, to be a warrior, and utilizing like the way that an assassin would move, sometimes using the way that a ninja would move, sometimes the way that a Spartan would move, different extremes. And I'm going to continue to teach this philosophy that I have, that I utilize, that I believe you can even find in the Word of God to some degree. But either way, I hope that was helpful. Just again, the end of a thing is better than the beginning thereof. And with everything I teach and everything I say and everything you hear and everything you learn, take it, spit out the bones, eat the meat, meditate and filter it and digest it and think through it critically and let it play out over the course of time, so that you can digest it. Because everything has every church, every area, every message has a spiritual diet, seasoning, substance, value. And you want to be able to utilize that to apply to your own life in a way that will work for you, just like martial arts. Okay, so anyway, just like martial arts, just like fitness, and those things are principles removed from the beautiful, the aesthetic and the physical look of the things. It's the principles behind it. Everything is actually invisible, and then it becomes real. Everything is made up, literally made up. The phone was an idea that was made up. Not like, oh, it's make believe, made up. You made it up. Yeah, but that's also an actual, like, there's a double word there. Made up. Like, I made this thing and I built it up. I built up this thing. I built it out. I made up this thing. Everything is make believe. Someone sells you something or tells you to do something, they made you believe that. They made you to believe that, to do the thing. They caused you to believe it. They influenced you to believe it. So again, filter the things for yourself, meditate and critically analyze it, and understand that one principle as well. Everything, in a lot of ways, is made up, make believe. You make believe. I'll have more discourses on this. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for the next episode. Drives with CHRIZ. Have a great day, brother.